Kudash, 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 Adonai, Elohim, Sabayah, meaning holy, 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 Lord of hosts. Yah, He, Va, He. Those four syllables could be said as a mantra. The first Yah signifying the divine masculine, the Father who art in heaven, the architect of the universe. He being equivalent to divine feminine, Mother Nature, the womb of the earth where mankind was created. Va being a divine masculine, being mankind itself. In the beginning, Elohim said, "Let us create them in our image," to be a likeness and a reflection, as above, so below. Va being the creation, the sixth syllable or letter on the Hebrew chart. Va. Back to He, signifying divine feminine, signifying Anna Chokma, mother wisdom, spirits of the wind, a feminine aspect, signified as a her. As above, so below, the macro prosophis above and the micro prosophis below, because we are the microorganisms and the host of the Elohim. All right, today I'm going to get into what is the difference between magic and sorcery. Those two words, get a lot of people riled up and stir a lot of controversy to, the end of what they're perceived to be in the eyes of man through religious institutions and organizations and how people perceive them to be. So I'm going to show you today how what you know as magic isn't as bad as what you think, and what you think is sorcery is not what you think it is, but it actually is something else, but it is kind of bad. So today I'm going to be breaking down to the two. I'm going to be using definitions and sources of a couple different books. All right. All right, let's first say that magic it comes from the African word heka, which means to engineer. Heka comes from mathematics because you use math and equations, measurements, you know, to create things from your inner essence, your ideas, your thoughts. But I'm going to go into how math correlates with thoughts and the meanings of it. So let's just jump right into it and break it down. Mathematics, metaphors, magneticism, magic, and miracles. I already been doing, little lessons on these topics, but I'm going to go into them more today. Uh, Math comes from the Greek word mathema, meaning to learn or think, to have one's mind aroused, to be wise, wide awoke, to be enlightened, at your most high state of consciousness and spirituality, at that seventh chakra, which is the violet, which is, it deals with spirituality, consciousness, and on the dual side of that, it deals with pride and humility. Humility is the complete opposite of spirituality, but it is triggered by pride, the pride that resides in mankind, you know. All right, the surface tip is the shortened version of the Greek word techne, as in technique. And the word mathematics means system, process, method, art, or craft. So techne means is the tick in mathematics, which means a technique. It's a way that you think. You use it as a system, a process, a method, or art, or craft. Thus, the etymological sense of the word mathematics is the art of thinking, systematic learning, or thought process. So, mathematics deals with your thought process. Like I said before, when you see these equations, circles, all they are math equations, basically thoughts from the inner essence of how people understand, understand, and overstand them and perceive them to be. These equations are written out as symbols that signify something, you know. Mathematics is the mental process of finding the answers to a question or solution to a problem. All right. The ability to replicate, model, manipulate, and control various aspects of nature using mathematics was known to the earliest Africans as Heka. You know, Heka as a concept was used to represent the manipulation of the elements of nature. That's all math is a process of thinking to help you understand, overstand, understand how nature works, the nature of things, the nature that is in you. This is what gives you the wisdom that Anna Chokma from the mother, the womb of the earth where you was created in, so you will know the nature of things, the cycles, and how everything works together in unity and in duality. Heka as a concept was used to represent the manipulation of the elements of nature. Heka is often defined as magic. Magic is defined as the practice of producing a desired effect or result by techniques, the tick in mathematics, that enables humans to control forces of nature. You only can control something once you understand, understand, and overstand how it works from the inside out. You know how they say, no weapon formed against me can prosper. In order for no weapon formed against you to prosper, you have to understand, understand, and overstand how the workers of iniquity work. That's by understanding the consistency and pattern, the behavior. You will know them by their fruits. Their fruits is the behavior in which they produce. Behavior is tracked by the pattern. There, everything has a pattern. Math is a pattern. Understanding the pattern of numbers, the course of nature, and the nature of things. So, this is the things you have to guard yourself from. In order for no weapon formed against you, in order to prosper, you have to know what you are up against and how it works from the inside out. You know, that's why you have to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, you know, because it all relies on you, you know. What is your final decision or conclusion to the problem, you know? What does it say right here? It is mathematics is the mental process of finding the answers to a question or solution to a problem, you know? And that's all about the consistency and pattern and understanding the nature of yourself and the nature of things around you, you know? It says Heka as a concept was used to represent the manipulation of the elements of nature. Hacking is also often defined as magic. Magic is defined as the practice of producing a desired effect or result by techniques, which is the tech in mathematics, that enables humans to control the forces of nature. In modern terms, hacker and magic would be called engineering. What we know an engineer as? An engineer as a builder. What does he say that Jesus, the Messiah, Yeshua, Yahweh Shai, he was a carpenter, you know? He was an engineer, putting things together. Engineering is defined as the process of acquiring and applying scientific and mathematical knowledge to design and develop inventions that realize a desired objective. When looking at the definitions of engineering, magic, and hacker, the relationship can be seen in successfully practicing engineering. Hacker or magic depends on mathematics, you know. It is interesting to note that the etymology of the word engineer comes from the word engine, meaning skill and cleverness. Those thoughts, that tick, you know, becoming aroused, becoming awoke, the Great Awakening, the Age of Aquarius, the Age of Information, the Apocalypse, the Great Revealing. This is the time that everything is going to be revealed, you know. It says comes from the word engine, meaning skill and cleverness. And also the word ingenium, meaning inborn qualities. Inborn qualities is your inner essence, which is eternal. And what do you know God as? The eternal God, or the eternal Yah, that Yah in you, the Yasad. Or talents. And genie, meaning to beget or produce. Genie is in your genetics, your genes. That's why Genesis is Bereshith in Hebrew, meaning in the beginning. But when you go into the Nunakai Texas, it says the generations of Isis, the genealogy of a Pacific bloodline. Those, and it goes into the children of Shem, which we know on in the Greater and Lesser Keys of Solomon. The name for the sun is Shemesh. Shemesh is the light, those nine ether beings, that plasma that's coming off the sun. It unlocks the plasma in your DNA and RNA. It unlocks the junk DNA. It allows you to come from that state of ignorance, the low vibration, from that root chakra to the ground chakra, where you become aroused and awoken. You come to your most high self, which we would know as cosmic consciousness, because the universe is mental, because every thought leads to an action. You have to mentally think of something to manifest it and materialize it on this physical plane. Cosmic consciousness is the Christ consciousness. The Christ consciousness is when you reach your most high self of spirituality, where God resides in you. Your third eye, your pineal gland, your intuition, your inner essence. Inner essence, it means those abilities beyond this physical realm. So it says inborn qualities and talents, and genie, meaning to beget or produce, given the etymology of the word engineer. The definition of the word engineer as someone who practices Heka or magic, the process of acquiring and applying scientific and mathematic knowledge for the purpose of producing a desired effect. It implies that this engineering ability is related to genes, your genetics, or a certain inborn quality, that divine spark that's in you. You know, it is also true that the ancient Africans viewed the ability to practice magic or Heka engineering with certain blood lineages or genetics. What I was saying, that plasma that comes from the sun, it unlocks the plasma in your DNA. Your spirit is in the blood. It's the fuel, that energy, those electrolytes. And once those specific genes, that's when those X genes are unlocked. That's why you hear them talking using, code words like a X flare just hit Earth. Because when the X genes is unlocked, you get those mutant like X-Man abilities like you seen on Marvels. These all of these things you see in movies, the truth is stranger than fiction. But these are analogies and metaphors. They basically are telling you something. The X gene, the X chromosome becomes unlocked. You have supernatural abilities. All right. All right. And as you see, like numbers, like I was saying before, like 24 hours in a day. It said that the Messiah rose in 3 days, which would be 72 hours. Like I said before, math is the key. 7 and 2 makes 9. What is 9? The completion of a cycle before the number reset. 33. The Messiah was 33. They said that there are 33 degrees of knowledge. What's 3 and 3? 6. What's 6 on the Hebrew chart? Va. Va is mankind, the creation. So all those creations, that's why Psalms 82 say, ye are all gods and children of the Most High. It say the Most High judgeth in the congregation of the gods, his spiritual lights, of that Pacific genetic bloodline or lineage. Va is number 6, 33 degrees. That's why you see in certain Masons, they talk about 33 degrees. They say Messiah was 33 when he died. All these numbers are symbolic to mathematics and analogy. You know, you have 72 names of God with attributes in the Hebrew, and 72 you get 9. In Islam they say that there are 99 names of Allah. When they say Allah, you don't you can't forget the first part. They say El Allah. El Allah is short for Elohim. Elohim was the creator. They created us in the image, and when you go into the Moorish science, they say Islam mean I self am Lord and Master. Allah is basically signifying the human body: arm, leg, arm, head. The human body, which is the temple, which is the vessel, the host, where the divine sparks lives, where that spirit is in that DNA, which is in the plasma, that divine spark, that energy state, that keeps everything going. All right. Right here. Now we're gonna get to sorcery. Now this is when it gets deep. Sorcerer, translated from the Greek word. The etymology from ancient Greek. Pharmakia, the word for sorcery that was originally in the Bible from a translation, it was pronounced pharmakia. This is where you get the word pharmacy from. And listen to this. The use of drugs. This is what sorcery means. It says pharmacon, a drug, charm, enchantment. Enchantment is something that enhances. It takes you from your natural pure state. It basically, this is why most drugs are illegal, because when you go on these drugs, people have these trips and they said that they had a bad batch or something, and they seeing stuff that's not within this physical realm, because they're opening up portals to go into other realms. It only becomes a drug when you take a natural herb or something from its natural state and you start putting synthetic ingredients in it or other stuff, genetic, just like genetic splicing, cloning. You're taking something from its natural state and then you're altering it into another state. So basically, when you give people these drugs, they are not at their normal state. It says, what I wrote here, it says the etymology from ancient Greek. Pharmakia. This is where you get the word pharmacy from. The use of drugs. This is what sorcery means. Pharmacon, a drug, charm, enchantment, or enhance. That's why most drugs are illegal, unless a ritual. A ritual means the right to aid you. Pharmacy, right, aid, the right to aid you, but drugs alter or enhance the natural state from a pure state of DNA. Revelation 9:21 says, and they did not repent of their murders or their sorceries, meaning druggings, or their sexual immorality of their thefts. Now let's break Revelation 9:21 down. It says, and they did not repent of their murders or their sorceries, meaning druggings. There's what's a lot going on in this country right now. That's why the pharmaceutical industry is the most boomingest thing right now. Sorcery, we ain't even gonna call it pharmaceuticals no more. Pharmacy. Pharmakia means, sorcerer. That's what that industry is. It's sorcery, you know, or their sexual morality. This is where you get this rainbow flagging, or the spiritual Sodom mentality, as it talks about in Revelation. It says they would be called spiritual Sodom in Egypt, coming from the Greek word Egyptos, which means bondage. They physically put people in bondage, whether it be slavery, prisoners of wars, or the Jim Crow, Willie Lynch effect, keeping you in mental bondage, for generations, while they obtain all the general wealth, keeping their self the head and you to tail. This is a system. This is with this world. This is with the dark craft of thing. This is what you would call dark magic, basically calculating things as a tactician, but using it in a dark way of a dark intent. You can't have one without the other. And it says in their thefts to take away and take ownership as a ritual to take rights to something that belongs to somebody else. That's what right means, ritual. Just like you got in right aid. That's why pharmacy comes from pharmakia. Pharmakia is what you have in your English Bibles as sorcerer. So they took the word pharmakia and replaced it with the word sorcerer, which translates to pharmakia, and pharmakia is where you get pharmacy from, the druggings. Let's read Revelation 9 and 21 again. And they did not repent of their murders and their sorceries, their druggings, or their sexual immorality, meaning rainbow flagging, or spiritual Sodom mentality, of their thefts, to take away and take ownership, a ritual, to take rights to something that belongs to another. Psalms 49 and 11 says, their inward thought is that their houses will continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They have named their lands after their own names, ignoring God. Let's read that again. Their inward thought is that their houses will continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They have named their lands after their own names, ignoring God. Amin Ta Salah. Like, share, and subscribe.